Crop circles. A mystery solved. The symbols do not depict the sun and moon. They depict a water molecule, H2O. Amended January 31, 2021. Kuufuto. On August 2, 1996, a crop circle depicting a figure that came to be known as the sun and moon appeared in a wheat field in the town of Chiseldon, about 100 kilometers west of London, England, as shown here in Photo 1. 8 years later, the object shown in Photo 2 was discovered, in September 2004, near the site of the famous Roswell incident, and became known as the Roswell Rock. Later, it was discovered that the object's markings depicted the same symbols or figure as the sun and moon crop circle shown in Photo 1, and this stirred up some debate over the relationship between the two. The author has recently deciphered the meaning of this figure and clarified that the figure that has been understood to symbolize the sun and moon does not depict the sun and moon, but in fact symbolizes a molecule of water, H2O. And this marks the start of communication between aliens and humans. Once the figure of a water molecule can be understood, it can enable one to extend understanding to symbols for other molecules, so let us delve into the meaning of this figure. First, I'd like us to look at the transcription of the basic shapes. Diagram 1. The shape that was first seen as a sun actually depicts an electron, and the crescent moon-like shape next to it depicts an atom from which the electron has been ejected, thereby making it positively charged. It has been drawn this way so that we can see the space or hole from which the electron was ejected. Thus, as shown in Diagram 2, these shapes in fact illustrate electrons and atoms, or positive and negative charges. Next, looking at Diagram 3, we already know that the element hydrogen is composed of one negative electron and one positive proton, so we can conclude that these figures indicate two hydrogen atoms arranged symmetrically. Now please look at the other shape in the background of the symmetrical hydrogen atoms. It is partially hidden by the hydrogen atoms, but its size suggests that it is much larger than the hydrogen atom to which it is attached. On reaching this point of understanding, the author had a flash of intuition. The shape in the background had to be an oxygen atom, and the figure taken as a whole must represent the water molecule, H2O. Thus, if we think of this as a molecule of water, we can see that in the diagram, the outer electron orbital of the oxygen atom overlaps onto that of the orbitals of the hydrogen electrons, and this does indeed indicate a covalent bond. In summary, we can conclude that these diagrams, when understood together, represent a molecule of water, H2O, with two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom covalently bonded to it. We learn then that aliens have chosen water, the fundamental substance for the development of life, as their first means of communication with us. By deciphering this, it means that we have confirmed our understanding of the way in which water is expressed by Grace and humans. But why would Grace choose the somewhat complex water molecule as their first means of communication with humans? The reason for this can be understood when considered from the viewpoint of the sender of the symbols. If a symbol was sent of the simplest hydrogen atom, the figure would be far too simple to be identified as hydrogen. In other words, it would be impossible to distinguish it from a symbol of the sun and moon. It is only when made slightly more complicated, with a figure that consists of two hydrogen atoms and an oxygen atom, that it becomes possible to identify it as a molecule of water and not as the moon and the sun. Thereby applying the logic and using the scheme to put the electrons back into their original positions, we can depict a hydrogen atom, as shown in Figure 4-1. Furthermore, if we use the scheme to represent a hydrogen molecule, which is a covalent bond between two hydrogen atoms, it would be as shown in Fig. 4-2. This is a rather ingenious way to depict covalent bonds. So it has become clear now that the sun and moon figure actually shows us the molecular structure of water, but it begs the question of the significance of aliens showing this to us. Please refer to my forthcoming book The Moon Was a Spaceship / A Meeting with the Earth 267 million years ago, Cambodia, for a detailed examination of these facts. The purpose of this site. The author uses this YouTube site as a platform to present his life's work on topics which include the universe and aliens, intelligent life, universal truth, and cosmic consciousness. My real name is Waru Iwani, but from now on I will use the name Waru Iwani when engaged in my day-to-day business, and when dealing with the above topics, I will use the discipline name Kuofudo to differentiate from my daily work. This website will be used as the first portal to publish the results of my research and to announce any facts that require urgency in transmission.